Daniel 3:24 through 28. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and quickly got up. This is part of in the story of the fiery furnace where the three Hebrew men get thrown in. The reason they got burned in, for a little backstory, for those who don't know, the king built an idol. They didn't bow down to it. He thrown them in by his fury. He threw them in. Okay. He said to his advisors, "Did you not throw 3 men bound into the fire?" They replied to the king, "That's right, O king." So, the king was the only one in a place of authority to have men thrown in the fiery furnaces. Capital punishment. Only those who are highest authority would be able to do that. His servants would not have the authority to do that. So, for them to throw an extra man in would have been them risking their own necks. The fact is, the king sees 4 men. The king's order. If there would have been an extra man in there, it may have been also questioned whether them 3 men got thrown in or was it others. The king's authority was final in this empire. And oftentimes what God he said you worship was the God you worship. And it showed that the authority of the king oftentimes was more than the authority of their known gods and the gods they served. Okay, verse 25. He replied, "But I see 4 men loose, walking around in the fire unharmed, and the fourth looks like the son of the gods." Now, how strange would it be to witness somebody suffering a death penalty, and then for it to be executed, and then them jump up, start moving around, because that's what he realized, witnessing here. This person is the Son of God. It doesn't necessarily mean Jesus. It could refer to an angel. It could refer to Jesus. But the fact is, he's just recognizing it as some power of his by saying, "Well, it's one of the sons of the gods." Even by him seeing, he's not accepting what is going on. He's convincing himself it's something other than what he's actually seeing. Those of the world may see miracles, will see miracles, but they're going to rationalize them into something that God rationalized God out of them, pretty much. He rationalized the true God out of this for, well, it's one of the sons of gods. Saying God has protected these men, which is what was happening. He came to the conclusion, because he didn't want to come to the conclusion that was true. He's blinded himself against the truth that there was. And those of the world are going to be doing this. People say, "Well, if I have proof of heaven or God, I believe." There's proof. And no, you wouldn't believe. God came down to this earth in flesh himself, and people still rejected him. There's always going to be people that no matter what happens, they're going to reject God. No matter what they see with their own eyes, they're going to reject God. Verse 26. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near the mouth of the furnace, blazing with fire, and called out, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you servants of the Most High God, come out here." Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of that fire. Now, the king may have knew all the names of his officials, or the fact that this may have stood out. I think the king knew their names after this because of this. Now he recognizes them now as the servants of the Most High God. But that doesn't mean he recognizes the Most High God as his own Lord. Maybe it's going to be one of them things where, okay, you serve your God, I respect you for you serving your God, I'm going to serve mine. He never submitted to the Lord here. He respected the Lord, servants, and respected the Lord, but he never would submit to the Lord. There's those out there, there's a few of them out there that respect us for being Christian. Respect that we stand our ground on certain issues of the faith. And even though they respect us, we respect that we serve God. They themselves do not accept God, and they themselves do not serve God. Verse 27. The satraps, officials, governors, and the king's advisors had gathered together and saw that these men were unharmed by the fire. Not a hair of their head was singed, nor the clothing scorched. Even the smell of fire was not found on them. Now, some people, some false teachers will use this to say, well, the Lord is going to spare you from any harm. The Lord didn't spare Paul from harm. The Lord didn't spare Christ himself from harm. Yeah, sometimes he can spare us from harm. Sometimes he might not allow us to go through certain things. But what this is saying is not that he's going to necessarily always spare us from harm, but he's going to be with us. When we get thrown into the fire for our faith in him, he's going to be there with us, standing with us. You look at the stories of Stephen. Stephen, even though he was being stoned, still stood strong in his faith. I believe when you're faced with a life and death situation for the Lord, or certain situations you don't even know be necessarily life or death, but he takes control of you, because your flesh is at its weakest, and the flesh is nothing but broke at that time. So the Spirit takes over, empowers you to continue in the faith, to do the will of God, and to stand strong. These men were protected because it did more for God's will for them to be spared than it would for them to be sacrificed. I think Stephen's death did the reverse. He was a martyr, but because he died, his influence stood strong. Christ, no doubt, his death was the most important thing, death ever. And faith would be nothing without the death of Christ. The apostles died. God didn't spare them from dying horrible deaths. God could have, but God was with them in their death. God strengthened them. Because the thing we as Christians should be worried about is our relationship with God. But our witness that we have with others. If they would have had broken down last few minutes of their life, all that the Lord used them for would have meant nothing. It would have meant something. It would have meant a lot less than what it would have been them standing strong. The Lord is going to empower us when we got to defend the faith. We just got to rely on Him and on ourselves. Okay. Esther 2:11. Moreover, Mordecai used to walk to and fro every day in front of the court of the harem. And the harem's the king's women. To learn how Esther was and how she was faring. There's those in our life God will put in our life to care about us. Or to appreciate them, but we are never to put them before God. We're to always put God first and count them as a blessing.